recording. Chapter 8, as we said, is the other side of the coin when it comes to promotional tools. We talked about traditional. The other side is the digital tools or digital marketing strategies or digital يعني promotional tools. Of course, it's this chapter and the next one. Inshallah, on Sunday we're going to be talking about social media marketing, and how to use social media for building our brand and so on, which is a very important digital tool, of course. We talked about many things in this chapter. We're going to close it with some important strategies or tactics that you should think about implementing in your digital campaign. Interactive marketing, content, location-based advertising, behavior targeting, video tactics, blogs and newsletters, emails, just to name a few. There are many others, by the way, but this is just maybe the most important, or those that we are usually used to, or we know about. Here, for example, the interactive marketing. Bear in mind that you have different kinds of objectives that you want to fulfill. Cognitive, or what I say, awareness objective, cognitive objectives, or knowledge objectives, effective and cognitive. You have to see what kind of digital tools will be most supporting for you to cover those objectives. It's very important to think about it. To talk of interactive marketing, for example, is one of the things that are very interesting when it comes to effective objectives, because you are stimulating the consumer or your target audience to interact and to give you some feedback, to be involved in chat rooms, to be involved in creating content with you. Maybe you're going to do some sort of competitions or some sort of winning things online. Let them get them engaged as much as you can. That's very important. There are some things that you're going to be talking about here. Some examples, banner ads that are interactive. You click on them, you go somewhere, you see something, you fill out a form. You try to get your target audience more engaged as much as you can. And this is important, of course, in covering specifically your effective and also your awareness of it. It's mainly the effective part. The effective part rests on engaging. It's called brand building. What are the main steps involved in interactive? These are some things. Of course, first of all, you have to show the consumers or your target audience that you care about them. You have to gain their trust. You have to have something to talk about. Identify things that are related to your brand. What do you want to reach? Get them involved. What communication channels are the best for you to do this? Is it going to be Instagram, Facebook? Is it going to be your website? How are you going to attempt to approach and interact with your customers? Next one is, I think, the most important one. Even if you remember, when you were doing your SWOT analysis and your situation analysis in the marketing brief phase, if you remember, some of you told me, Doctor, they haven't updated their site since I don't know when. The last post on Instagram was from a year. This is not acceptable for brand building. No way. Content marketing and content management is key to any business to succeed. Very, very stressful, very hard job. It requires a lot of effort because you have to continuously update it. And exactly the same way, offline, how you are successful in retaining your customers, in giving them a nice in-store experience, in giving them right information at the right time, and so on, in being always there for them. Same thing you have to do online. Online is even tougher because you have to have someone who's dedicated for doing this all the time, which is not easy. Some people, some big companies, they hire people to do this for them, to do the content management for them, because they don't have the time and effort for that. They hire people always, and that's even you guys, when you checked, when you were doing the situation analysis for your brands, this is one of the weak points was for some of the brands, like there was shortage of marketing activities. There was lack of marketing activities, and one of them is that their websites, the digital tools are not updated. And this really sends a very bad message about your brand. And remember, your ultimate objective is to let Google fall in love with you and put you on top when people are searching about your business category. That when I'm searching for whatever my business is, I appear on the top. And this is a major issue. How can you appear on the top if your website is not updated? How can you appear on the top if people, the last time you communicate with your target audience online was from 1 year? It's impossible. Okay, so content is key. Content is key for the success. In your project, I'm going to be expecting you to make what I call a content calendar. Yeah, you're going to tell me, doctor, in the first month, I'm going to do X, Y, Z. We're going to do, for example, we're going to have a post on Instagram. We're going to have a specific image with the focusing on the first week on awareness. We want to make sure that people are aware of the title of my campaign and of the brand with the campaign and so on. So we will be focusing more on images, abstraction, minimal information, just making sure people are aware of that we exist, that we are there, and so on, directing them towards the campaign. Maybe the second week you will start to be more interactive. You have more information. Try to cover your cognitive objectives or your knowledge objectives. Trying back to show some features, some benefits, educate them on some important facts about your brand. And then the third week, I'm going to try to use digital to cover my effective. So I'm going to be announcing about events, about a specific event we're going to be hosting. I don't know who online. We're going to do this, do that. We're going to be having, doing, for example, a quiz, a competition. As you move on, you start to be more cognitive behavior. Doctor, we can use social media to give out some free coupons for مش عارف ايه, some sampling, some this, some that. يعني, see, social, even your content is changing as you move on in your campaign. You have a whole month, 4 weeks. How will you manage your content across these 4 weeks? You have to have an agenda for your content. That's very important. The creative samples for your tools is just as important as your tools for the project. I'll say it again. I hope all the group leaders and all the other people in the groups are listening to me. تمام? The creative samples for your tools, like for example, if you're going to have social media, I have to see your content management plan or agenda. I have to see how will your social media accounts look like during the campaign. This is the creative samples. If you're going to do a TV ad or a video ad in general, I have to see the storyboard. Radio, I have to see some script. If you're going to be having an event, you have to show me the plan for this event. When is it going to be, the location, how much is it going to cost, who are you going to host, and then details are very important when it comes to your creative brief. You are as if you are presenting it to a real client, to your real, this I'm getting these people and I'm presenting them this proposal. So they will be looking at all details. Bear this in mind. Some people get sponsored content. Yes, I bring bloggers. I bring people who are paid influencers online. You have to have a social network. You have to have a social network to be successful online. We'll talk about this, inshallah, in chapter 9. Before I move on, I would like you to watch a video I prepared for you about content management, because I think it's essential that you know everything about content management. So I try to find a video for you that will, that will help you. Can you see? Can you see, all of you?
Yes, doctor.
Okay. Okay.
There were days when companies used to say that content is a good thing to have on their sites. But now it has become one of the main ways by which businesses interact with their customers. It has become a core part of business in these years as each and every department needs it. What are we talking about here? Well, hi everyone. We will talk about CMS today. Which company wouldn't want the content of their site to be managed by themselves? What if they can change or format their site's content as if they are doing in any word processor like MS Word? They would like to do this with reduced costs and higher productivity. That's what CMS does practically. A CMS is a web-based application on which anyone can create, manage, store, edit, or publish massive amounts of content without any programming skills. One can easily edit content from anywhere without relying on programmers to keep the website up to date. You may ask, why do we need to do it when we can have developers to do that task? The answer is little bit rough for developers, but we must understand it. For many companies, managing a website is not something they want to spend time with because of the lengthy process and the costs associated with it. Instead, they search for easier means to accomplish such tasks. This is where CMS comes as a savior, where such companies can control their online identity without going through the hassles of web design and development. Although when I say that CMS does not need developers, it doesn't mean that they lose their jobs. In fact, even developers directly provide CMS to their clients so that for minor changes or content management, they don't have to involve them multiple times. As a company, I always suggest my clients to go for CMS so that I can involve my team and their efforts in more creative development work rather than spending my precious intellectual resources on formatting and editing content of a website. Web content management is another name for CMS because our industry loves wordplay. A WCM, that is Web Content Management, has two major components. One is the Content Management Application or CMA, and second is Content Delivery Application, that is CDA. CMA is the administrative part that editors use to create, edit, publish content without messing with the code or user interface options. Whereas content delivery application can be called the actual backend of the website, which has the tool to control the logic and coding which is required to transform the content into a visible interface for the end user. So let's say, for example, there is a site which publishes niche content about the technology industry. There will be people who will use the CMA to create, edit, or publish blogs, articles, or classifieds on their sites. But in order to do that, they do not have to contact the IT department and give them instructions about how to do so. Such people, or better known as editors, will have limited access to the CMS. They won't be able to touch the website code but can do changes to text, videos, images, etc. On the other hand, few users will have access to CDA where they can play with the coding part and make it look user friendly and presentable. Both the functions are important and crucial in order to make CMS work as a whole solution. Also, it needs to be mentioned that everything can be customized as well. Each application can be built according to client's need. The major advantages of CMS are that you can start much faster if a website is getting built from scratch. There will be a base, which is often called scaffolding, ready for users to set up and start immediately. So nothing needs to be coded from the beginning. Content and code both are separate parts with different access methods. If you are not a developer, you don't have to think of coding to handle any content. So this was all about CMS. We will discuss about 10 must-have features of CMS in our next.
Okay. I'm not to go a little bit, I know it's a little bit technical, but to make a long story short, يعني, the most important thing, as you can see, this is why they are creating these kinds of things, CMS and CD. Why? Because content has to be managed all the time. You cannot just let it go for coincidence or just let it go for, if you can't do it, as you see, because people see inside company, the talent resources, and it takes time. Some people hire people to do it for them. Others, they use these kinds of automated systems and just put in the information, automatically it updates or automatically it changes all the time. And this is the CMS system. And to have a system that automatically, but the bottom line is that you have to manage your content. You don't have a choice. You have to keep yourself updated all the time. Your website has to be updated. Your social media accounts have to be updated. You cannot put a post every week, or every week even is too much, believe it or not. Now it's becoming too much, lengthy. You have to be shorter than that. You have to have logic. You have to have a sequence in your posts, in the way that you put information for your consumers. You have to be informative. You have to be timely, and so on. Sometimes you send emails to companies and they take ages to get back to you. This is not right. There's something wrong with their feedback system. Okay, sometimes you visit websites and you see them old, outdated, old information. You cannot rely on it. You cannot depend on it. This loses the trust of the consumer in the brand and makes it less credible. So managing your content and making your content calendar for your social media accounts and for all other accounts is extremely important. Whether it's going to be sponsored content or you're going to be doing it, just the bottom line is that someone has to manage it. Okay. Moving on, we're talking about location-based advertising. Of course, and we talked about this before. Location-based, if you remember, when we talked about geo-marketing and all that, and that when you visit somewhere and then you find yourself getting SMS messages or getting whatever emails or whatever indicating how you should focus on your specific. They send you like messages for advertising and for offers inside the mall that you're being in, the stores inside the mall, and they track you down by GPS and so on. And this is of course very, very heavily used in the States, and also, by the way, here in Qatar I see it a lot. Yeah. When I go to specific shopping malls, I see messages coming to me through geo-targeting or geo-marketing, as they say, through using whatever, location, GPS, and other things, information about the consumer. Mobile applications, another thing related to location-based advertising also, which is mobile applications. Mobile applications now are becoming trends. And if I ask you, any of you, I want any of you to tell me, how many mobile apps do you have on your mobile? Someone tell us, yalla.
Maybe 20.
How many do you have? 20?
I really don't know, actually. So many.
For me, a lot. Maybe
Countless.
40.
More than 30?
Yeah. I believe you, because in the morning when I asked some of the classes, someone told me 60. I was gonna die. 60 apps on one phone. It's crazy. It's too much. So yes, it's mobile apps are becoming a trend. If you can design a mobile app for anything, just go ahead and do it. If it's going to be useful for your business, if it's going to be if it's going to enhance the consumer experience with your brand and make it better and make it easier, make it faster, make it more beneficial for both sides. So why not? So mobile apps are becoming trends, and at the same time they're becoming cluttered also. You have to break through the clutter. You have to break through it. Too much apps, too much brands using that, and so on. But I think it's an interesting and useful thing. طبعا, there are some mobile apps that you can be on. For example, I want to be on Talabat if I'm talking about restaurants. I want to be on Carrefour if I'm selling a convenient product. I want to be on the app for Mira if they're selling online. If I'm dealing with it, I want to make sure I'm on the most big apps for grocery stores and retail stores in Qatar if I'm selling any kind of grocery or retail or convenient product, and so on. You don't have to actually have your own app for your brand. You can also be in specific apps, and this is something else. Interesting to understand that this is a digital tool that we should use. Behavior targeting طبعا is heavily used by people selling online, like Amazon.com, like many online stores that store your data and your history, and then they start forming sequences of your behavior online. So they understand, for example, that Tamim, he likes to read about history, for example. He bought like history books for the past, I don't know what. Next time Tamim logs on the site, he'll find hints and suggestions about things related to history. And this is what happens to you, right or no? Doesn't happen to us, especially in Amazon. And from your behavior on Amazon, they are capable of predicting what you want and predicting what you need and predicting and suggesting products for you, right or no?
Yes, doctor.
Yes, doctor, happens all the time. Not only
Yes.
Amazon.
This is not only Amazon, exactly. I'm the one that I buy many things from Amazon, so I see it a lot. I personally, as a consumer, it's interesting to analyze the behavior of your target audience online. and do that. طبعا, of course, there's tools for this, like Google Analytics. Remember when we logged on Google Analytics last time together, and I showed you how much information you can get from Google Analytics about people visiting your website. You can know everything about people visiting your website, basically anything. Yani when, what, how, everything. Okay, so it's interesting to understand the behavior of your online consumers. Videos and video tactics. Actually, I want to tell you something. If we used to say that a picture is worth 1,000 words, I want to say that a video is worth 1,000,000 words. Really. Now the trend is for videos. Now everybody wants to watch videos. Even the news, you don't want to read. You want to watch a video. Everything, right? People are more into watching because quick, anytime, okay, and just tell me what's the meat يعني inside. Yalla, I don't have time to read. No time بقى to sit and read all these. Even some people buy books and they don't read the books. They read the summary. You know, they don't have time to read the entire book. Oh, it's crazy, really. How everything is becoming, what I want to say, يعني speedy, and I don't want to say tasteless, يعني بس يعني everything is so fast, and people are not enjoying many things in life because of that, by the way. يعني just getting things done as quickly as we can. Let's look at this interesting analysis or interesting study about TV ads versus digital ads or online ads. طبعا we know for sure that a TV ad can also be digital. We have multi-platforming now. Yeah, if I have an ad, for example, Pepsi made a big campaign having Leo Messi and Mohamed Salah in the campaign and all this. They had the campaign on TV, they had it on YouTube, they had it on Instagram. No worries, same ad. Okay, so there is multi-platform. But however, in comparing to see how digital ads provide stronger message recall, brand recall, general recall, and ad likability, it means that digital ads is the future and online ads is important. You have to consider it. Whatever any kind of video ad you're going to do, whether it's going to be aired on TV or digitally on any digital platform, of course, don't forget you have to make a storyboard for it. And it has to be compatible with your choice of message appeal and execution framework. Don't forget that. This is interesting just to show you online versus the TV ads. Posting a video, also remember, in posting video on YouTube and all that, you can do it before the program itself, in the middle, or in the end. I think the most common is in the beginning, I think. The most expensive, I think, is in the middle, because usually the middle gives a higher chance of visibility for the program. But also, sometimes people don't continue the whole show. They might miss it. Anyway, it's ways of posting your ads on YouTube, Netflix, movies, whatever. Also, inshallah, when we take alternative marketing techniques, we'll be talking about ads in video games. You have to put ads in video games. And if your target audience is playing a lot of video games, which you can know from research, it's advisable to put an ad in the video games, right? Just wherever my target market will be, I have to be there. I have to make touch base with them. Remember the aperture concept we talked about, which is the best point where my message touches base. Remember, with my target audience, we are always looking for this point. This point can be in the video game. Okay, fine, I put it there. Right? You have to look for it. You have to look for it. Okay. يعني other information about the text طبعا kinds of videos يعني and ways to measure the effectiveness of videos. That's the kinds of videos يعني that we are talking about. It can be related to your campaign. It can be informational videos. It can be product reviews. يعني for example, you have consumers who have good experience with your brand, and you start making testimonials and airing it and putting it online for customers to see. This is the best ad. And if you have a happy consumer and talking about your brand, this is the best ad, really. He's a consumer, you didn't pay him to come. He's talking about their own personal experience, very credible, very trustworthy, and it will really make bonding with your target audience, and it will really add to the credibility of your brand. Of course, bloggers, podcasts. Podcasts have really now become a trend also. Yeah, how many of you are following podcasts or listening to them or no? It's not part of your interest. Anybody has experience about this?
Yes, doctor.
Yes.
You listen to podcasts? عبد القادر tell us. يلا. What do you do?
It's not really
Which
a
one is the
podcast. It's more like a on YouTube podcast. So like they're
okay?
talking, but they have the video on YouTube.
Yeah. And what is it about?
It's from different YouTubers. Like
Okay.
some of them make vlogs, some of them do other stuff.
I know people who are crazy about football and they follow and they listen to a lot of football podcasts. Uh, I know this, yeah. Especially when football is, so people are really crazy about football. And I have friends of mine that are involved in this. I even have a friend of mine, and he's a podcaster. Yeah. He makes his own shows, yeah, about also the Premier League and stuff like that. Very interesting. How to newsletters, sending, updating regularly, sending your customers. يعني now you can get bloggers, you can pay them to be involved in your business, to encourage people to speak, to talk, to give their point of view, to give their feedback, to have chat rooms. And now, also now there is this new um, application that's called, one second, I can't remember, Clubhouse. Has anyone heard about it?
Yes.
Yes,
Uh-huh.
I've heard about it.
Is anybody involved in it? Or does anybody enter any of the rooms? And I heard it like, I don't know, they're telling me it's just like basically only sound, you talk, and you can have, I don't know how many people in one room, and it's time is open, and yeah, interesting. Anybody got, and you just know about it, or anybody's involved in any of these things? Or I know,
I just heard
nobody?
about it, but I wasn't sure what it is exactly, to be honest.
Yeah,
I
it's
just heard
kind of.
about it.
Also, huh? You just heard about it. Okay. Yeah, it's what I understand is like a chat rooms, but no typing, no pictures, nothing, just talking. Basically talking. That's it. Talking and chatting and yeah, and giving the consumers a voice to speak. And this divided into different kinds of topics. Yeah, and so on. Interesting to see how people, and it has a lot of actually there's a lot of people using it. From what I see, yeah, from what I observe. Yeah. Email marketing, not usually very successful. Why? Very low response rate. Usually comes in the spam. How many of us get emails and don't even open them or just delete them? It happens a lot. So to be relevant, you have to, when you have an email, you have to make sure that you are sending it, yeah, try to be targeted as much as you can. Send it to the exact target market or target audience. So you make sure you are sending it to the right people. Okay. Um, those who bought things from shopping and they abandoned the shopping cart. Remember we talked about this earlier. We said that you have to motivate them and send them incentives and tell them, give them deadlines and play on the scarcity and all this so they can go back and finish their shopping cart and buy it. Like another way is to send them an email. We realized that you said you want to continue shopping on this. Don't you get this kind of emails? Sometimes I get them, صراحة. But it's interesting to see, to try to utilize email marketing as much as you can. Email marketing will not work alone. It has to be integrated with other channels. Alone, it will not do the good what you want to do. You cannot depend on it alone as a digital tool. You have to integrate it with other digital tools to make it as effective as possible. And these are some tips also for developing successful email campaigns. These are some tips, very some tips. Eye-catching, shall not make it boring. Headline is very important for the email, and so on. Web advertising, as you say, for example, the one I showed you last time about putting an ad, for example, in Qatar Living, putting an ad on any high traffic website here in Qatar, depending on course also on who are you targeting and your target audience. It's very important to see who you are targeting and to try to reach them through online clicking and going to your landing page and then monitoring this and seeing how many people clicked on the ad and how many people stayed on the page, how many people interacted, how many people actually gave you response, and so on. But it's interesting. There's many ways, of course, to make online ads through banner advertising, through and through. US online spending by format, of course, number one, and I think if we do it now, it's going to be the same. Yeah, number one is still the search. Remember when we did when I showed you the top sites here in Qatar, and we saw number one is Google. So you cannot not be attached to Google or yani registering on Google is extremely important for your business. That's step number one. And having Google Ads, it is becoming more and more important. And Google AdWords and all this AdWords and all this, it's all very, very important. Keywords, the keywords you're using, the hashtags you're using, all this is very important for the success of your company. Banner advertising, we talked about it. Widgets, تمام. Like are small things embedded in banners, and usually are dynamic content, and they move, and they are eye-catching and so on. We get them sometimes even on our mobiles, and sometimes on social media, and sometimes on websites. يعني video ads also just to show you يعني some sort of example يعني for you can watch it يعني how video ads can be very يعني يعني attractive and really attract your attention and let you stay and watch for a while and so on. طبعا of course I would say that online advertising has very high impact, and it's very important to make sure that you are being visible. يعني, for example, the campaign you see IKEA choosing to put their banner ads, online ads on a website like Qatar. They are targeting expats. People mainly who are buying from IKEA are expats who are living here temporarily, and they want to buy some furniture or something that's not very expensive, at the same time very practical, something maybe that they can assemble and reassemble and take it with them back home, or easy to have a high after sale use price and so on. And that's why they choose IKEA. They don't have huge homes, they have يعني small houses or small staying in يعني places that are not that big, so they don't want to go buy big bulky furniture and so on. They want to make the maximum use of the, so this is why they are putting their ad there. Their target market is there. It's very important, and it has a huge impact actually on their business. It's very important that also that you can improve your response through targeting. That's very interesting. And with time, you are checking your Google Analytics. You are seeing the performance of your campaign. You can start moving here and there. You can start changing this and that to improve and to be better. And through better targeting from your and learning from your mistakes and learning from your tactics. Actually, I want to say that's basically it. Of course, URLs are part of your brand associations and your brand building. This is something that we all know. Integration of offline and with online. You cannot succeed to cover all your IMC objectives from cognitive to behavioral just by depending on your online tools or digital tools. And you cannot succeed to achieve your objectives from cognitive to behavioral only through relying on traditional media. You have to integrate both together in the right way to get the right recipe, right formula that will let you reach your objectives in the right way at the right time, and given, of course, the time and the budget that you have to stick to. Okay, so the last thing I want to finish with, of course, is search engine optimization, because this is the bottom line. This is the bottom line. You are doing all this so that Google will love you more and put you in a higher ranking in the search engines. And in search engine, when someone looks for your business or something related to your business on Google, you are there on the top. So you are doing all these efforts online to reach that. And this is brand building online. The more on top in the ranking of the SEO, that means that your brand is getting stronger every day online. You are building your brand. The same way you build it offline, you have to go and build it online. Different tactics, different things than the offline. Within the offline experience, store experience, and no, online, also you have to make sure that the online experience for your consumer is good. That's very important. To updating your website, to updating your social media accounts, to having interesting and creative content, to always keeping touching base with your target audience, to always involving them, so giving them a voice to speak and give ideas. Look, check out Starbucks, for example. Starbucks, they have more than 80% of their products, they come from consumers, from their ideas. They have chat rooms. Let's talk about coffee. How can we be better? How can we improve? How can you do this? How can you do that? They give a chance for people to. Why do you think this things like Clubhouse and these things are successful? Because they realize there's a need in people to express themselves and to, to speak about the world and the business and around them. They have to say. They want to talk. They want to give their point of view. So that's very important. Of course, we understand the ways and the methods for SEO. We talked about it before. It can be paid. It can be natural, organic through using the right keywords and the hashtags and all this, and updating your content all the time. And it can also be paid search ads. Okay, يعني اللي هو clicking on these ads and going and so on. تمام. So that's about it. Any questions? As we know, just to make long story short and cut it short, the more we want to move my target audience from paid search to organic search, from paid click ads and so on to natural finding me on the web. And this is what you're looking for. The more you are doing that, the more people are looking for you, the more people are following your business. It means you are moving your brand in the right direction, and you are building your brand and getting stronger online. And you have to be strong online exactly the same way as you are strong offline. They both complement each other. So I hope that you had a nice introduction in this